Everybody like, hey, are you ready to go? Ready to go? Everybody like,
Hey yo, what's going on though? Soul here, and welcome back to my story mode. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with me, hi, hello, what's going on? My name is Soul, usually referred to as Soul Story Mode, as made prominent on my main channel, Soul Story Mode, where I do any and all kinds of Pokemon content. If that's something that you're interested in, go check that out over there. We've got a nice little community that I'm sure you would vibe with. Over here, we're talking about all types of gaming, as I've made pretty clear by now. So, if that's something that you're interested in, stick around. I'm sure I will probably talk about your favorite game at some point. We'll see how it happens. So in my previous video, I talked very heavily about Sonic Superstars, the latest entry in the Sonic franchise. Very specifically, Sonic Superstars is going to be the first 2D Sonic game in quite some time, and a lot of us are looking forward to it because it has so many new and creative elements to it, and I can't wait personally, even if I'm not like crazy about 2D games. I've mentioned this in the last video. However, another obvious exception to the rule there is absolutely Mario, considering it has some of the best 2D games in probably all of gaming, or at least some of the most original and unique that I can't wait to get into when we get our game, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, literally 2 to 3 days after Sonic Superstars. And on the same day as Spider-Man, I will never get over that release schedule. That is crazy, but we'll talk about that another time. So, with the newest 2D Mario on the horizon, I figured, hey, I may as well talk about that one too. And I'm very much glad to do so. But I'm sure you're very confused right now. You've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail, so you're probably sitting there thinking, wait, if he's excited about the game, then what problem could he possibly have with Super Mario Bros. Wonder? And I'll tell you, just sit back, relax, and brace yourselves for what I'm about to say. Super Mario Bros. Wonder looks so colorful, so vibrant, and I absolutely cannot wait to see what a team that has actual freedom with a Mario game is capable of doing, especially a 2D Mario game, something that has struggled with identity for the last like 2 decades. I'm telling you, 2D Mario has been struggling just as bad as mainline Sonic, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what this game has to offer, because it looks just absolutely immaculate. But even amongst all of that excitement, there is one thing that absolutely bothers me that I just simply can't look past. And it's the fact that once again, Bowser is our main villain for this game. Now, before we get anything twisted here, I love Bowser as a character. He's written very well, he's got a great personality, he's actually hella funny, and he's a phenomenal father to his children. That is great. I love to see that kind of thing. It's great to have a character that could be badass and scary that's also silly and fun to be around and just awesome to see. Like badass in the just really cool sense, you know what I mean? And with all that being said, he is a great villain. He's cool, but he's also very tired as a villain. Throughout the entirety of the Mario series, he has had pretty much the same couple of goals that he's had since the very first Mario game. And honestly, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, he does kind of the same general thing to get a little bit more power, and then it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, he's strong. Yeah, he's badass. Yeah, he's got an army. And Mario has thwarted him every single time, to the point where in side games, he himself has made plenty of jokes about it. His motivations have barely evolved past kidnapping Peach, or maybe the occasional world domination or universal domination if he could get his hands on some power that would help him do that. But at the end of the day, it's the same old with him, you know what I mean? And it really doesn't help because we've also been introduced to so many unique and awesome villains within the world of Mario, especially through the RPGs. We've met characters like Fawful and Kafka from the Mario & Luigi series. We've met characters and villains from the Paper Mario franchise that I would never think would see the light of day. I mean, you know, outside of Bowser for 3 out of the 5 games that are available for Paper Mario, but I digress. All I'm saying here is, at the end of the day, Mario has some amazing villains in an amazing world that is completely underutilized a lot of the time. And while this game, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, does look unique, fresh, and all of that, The one thing that I can't get past is the fact that they just couldn't invent another villain for this unique world for Mario and friends to combat, especially because Bowser turns into a castle. Like, we ain't got nothing else going. Like, we just gonna resort right back to Bowser. I love Bowser, I do, but what is going on there? And you see, you know what's crazy to me? The craziest thing to me is that Bowser worked so well as a party member in Super Mario RPG. For those that are unaware, we are getting a Super Mario RPG remake in literally like a month from like this next week. One of the things that Super Mario RPG is super notorious for is its party, which consists of Mario, Peach, Bowser, Geno, and Mallow. A lot of things are just so unique and different about that party in an RPG for Mario. Two completely original characters for that world, Bowser, which is Mario's arch nemesis, teaming up with him to fight whatever else. I'll be completely honest with you, I have never truly fully beaten Super Mario RPG because I never really got the chance to. And so I'm super excited for Super Mario RPG because I can't wait to see what they're up against that's so dangerous that even Bowser had to team up with Mario for an entire game. This is one of the very few games where we get to have true full access to Bowser as a playable character. And that's really weird for such an iconic character in a series. Don't you think? That has made me super excited, and I finally come to understand why. It's because seeing a brand new character as a villain in the Mario series has become somewhat of a treat for the series because it usually kind of rotates around a lot of the same stuff. Granted, we love that stuff and it's very fun because they always find a way to make the gameplay loop and mechanics and stuff like that an absolute joy to play with, but that doesn't really excuse the fact that they still use a lot of very similar elements, Bowser being one of those very elements, which is crazy to me. Honestly, as much as I hate the Origami King, I have to admit, at least King Ollie was something different, and I can appreciate that even if it pisses me off still to no end. But it was something different, and I can't really get mad at that because at least it was taken from Paper Mario in a different direction than usual. It was so nice to see these very unique characters chasing their own goals and opposing Mario in a way that Bowser never did, and that's just something so awesome. And while I love Bowser, yeah, like I said earlier, his motivations and his actions just don't really add up anymore, especially because he's not somebody like Ganondorf per se, who's constantly reincarnated with the hatred and anger of demise. It makes sense that Ganondorf or Ganon or whatever is always the villain in the Zelda series because it's always a new iteration of Ganon. Ganon has always been that way because he is a reincarnation. With Bowser, on the other hand, this is a growing and developing character that we have known for the entirety of the series since we have known its existence. In my personal opinion, and you don't really have to agree with me here on this, but hear me out anyway, I feel like Bowser has surpassed that of just a basic villain status. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sure, maybe he likes doing evil for the sake of evil, but he doesn't really change it up. He's not really like clever enough in which he switches things up like insanely. You know what I mean? He sends the armies after Mario. He gets his hands on a new power or something like that, and he uses that to fight Mario and eventually lose because, hey, guess what? Mario has a new power of his own that could probably combat just that. And you know, this might seem like kind of ironic coming from a Sonic fan because, you know, Eggman has always been around. However, at the same time, at least with Eggman, he does stuff that even he can't really comprehend a lot of the time that switches things up because Eggman isn't always the final boss. Eggman is at the point where he believes that he's so incredibly unstoppable and genius that he could get away with whatever he wants. The difference with Eggman is that he gets in over his head and he can't really control everything that he tries to do. It gets out of hand, and in turn, that weirdly enough creates new villains for the Sonic franchise. In Sonic Unleashed, yeah, Dr. Eggman is still a villain, but hey, he released Dark Gaia, the pretty much like a god that Sonic and Chip had to fight. Spoiler alert, by the way, I guess, but ain't nobody playing Sonic Unleashed now, I don't think. In Sonic Frontiers, he opened up a gate to cyberspace that almost allowed a very old ancient evil to escape. That is something very different, to the point where he actually had to help Sonic and crew to escape from cyberspace. It changes up. Even though Eggman is the primary villain of the Sonic franchise, he switches it up. He does things that make things unique for the series. Bowser himself, on the other hand, is still chasing the exact same 1 or 2 goals, usually failing, and then maybe somewhat kind of tries to do it a different way, maybe with a couple of new henchmen, and it still doesn't work out, ever. His motivations and actions don't make sense because he's not that bad of a guy in reality, and he knows damn well half of this stuff is never going to work, yet he just tries anyway. Something ain't mathin' for me right there. Maybe you disagree, but I don't know about that. And see, the thing is with Bowser is that I personally believe that he's developed enough to the point where I feel like he absolutely is someone deserving of his own game, something that focuses completely on him. And I'm not just talking about Bowser's Inside Story. While that was good, that was a very good game, I'm gonna need a little bit more than that. Spoiler alert, by the way, for anybody that hasn't played Super Mario Odyssey, so I'm giving you that warning now, just in case, but it has been about 6 years or something like that. But at the end of Super Mario Odyssey, we were able to play as Mario, who had capped Bowser. He pretty much took over Bowser's essence and used his body to help Peach escape the falling castle. I forgot what that was, but in that sequence we were able to play as Bowser, and that was one of the coolest things in the Mario franchise to date, because playing as Bowser was so cool and so different and so fun, because we never get to truly experience that brute force of strength. We never get to see that. We never get a story focused solely on what Bowser is capable of, and something that can maybe oppose that other than Mario. I can't tell you how badly after that me and a lot of friends of mine have been dying to have a game completely centered around Bowser and maybe the Koopalings, so that we could play the opposite side for once, or at the very least, maybe Bowser as an evil individual wants to stop a different evil from taking over his turf. I think we've earned something like that, or at least Bowser as a character absolutely has. I can't imagine who wouldn't buy a game centered around Bowser. I don't think it's that insane to consider. And hell, I guess one of the things that frustrates me about Wonder is that because Bowser is the main villain, we can't get something like that. Even though I know it sounds kind of ridiculous, I would love to unlock Bowser as a playable character in a 2D Mario game, simply because that's so out of the box and something that we have never, ever seen before, outside of, maybe, I guess, technically Super Mario Maker with the Bowser amiibo. But other than that, I think it would be really fun, really fun to be able to play as Bowser smashing through blocks. Maybe he turns into an elephant, like a big turtle elephant thing or something like that. I don't know. I think it would be really cool to have to have a Super Mario Galaxy ending moment. The black screen, it fades to black after the credits roll and it says, "You can now play as Luigi." I want that with Super Mario Wonder, but for Bowser. If there's one thing I could wish for from Super Mario Wonder, it's to be able to play as Bowser. That's it. To be able to go back to any stage after we completed pretty much everything, and to go through as Bowser, smacking up enemies and troops and stuff like that. Just because why not? That's kind of where I'm at with that. Other than that though, Super Mario Bros. Wonder looks beautiful. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. However, I don't know precisely when I'm going to play it because I'm gonna try my best to finish Sonic Superstars, and then as fast as I can, I'm also, in the same vein, gonna try to finish Spider-Man 2 as fast as possible because I don't like getting spoiled. And the great part about Mario games, especially the 2D ones, is that they don't really have a lot of story going on. So, you know, I could, you know, scan a couple of levels on Twitter or whatever, like on accident, and not feel like I'm spoiled or anything gets ruined for me, as opposed to Spider-Man or something like that. But that doesn't really matter. Point is, I'm picking it up day one, and I will play it as soon as I get the opportunity, and I can't wait to do so. I do just wish that in a 2D Mario game from now on, or down the line, Mario games in general, I want Bowser present, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he needs to be the primary villain. I feel like we have a whole world to play with here, so don't hesitate to play around, guys. I know you guys have a little more freedom now. Don't hesitate to use that, and that's all I'm saying. But for now, we're getting a new Mario game, probably one of the last big new Mario games that we're going to be getting on the Switch, besides all of the remakes and stuff like that, before we get our new console. So whatever Nintendo has planned down the line, especially when it comes to the Mario franchise, I just want more for Bowser. That's truly it. But I guess we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. But tell me what you're thinking. Why don't you go ahead, take this mic from me after I stop the video, of course, and tell me everything that you guys are thinking about Super Mario Bros. Wonder and my thoughts on Super Mario Bros. Wonder in the comment section below. Do you believe that, you know, we're good, we don't really need Bowser as anything else but the primary villain for the remainder of his time in the Super Mario series? Or do you see a point in what I'm saying, and maybe we could mix it up a little more and have Bowser as kind of an Eggman status, where maybe he causes something to cause more trouble for the main characters, and maybe he has to like side with them to help out so that he doesn't lose his turf. You know what I'm saying? Tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I'm always down there with you guys. But with that, yeah, it does seem to be skedaddle o'clock. So on that note, I would like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, I'm Gonzo. Thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!